Hannah had always believed in love, in second chances, in the beauty of marriage. On the surface, her life seemed perfect. She lived with her husband, Adam, in a small apartment in the 15th arrondissement of Paris. To others, they were a happy couple, but behind closed doors, things were different. The man she had once loved had become distant, cold, even cruel. She found herself walking on eggshells, afraid of saying the wrong thing. But when Adam suggested a romantic getaway for their first wedding anniversary, she felt a flicker of hope. Maybe he wanted to fix things. They left early in the morning, heading toward the Jura Mountains. The road stretched long before them, and an eerie silence filled the car. Adam looked nervous, his grip on the steering wheel tight. He barely spoke, only turning up the radio when the silence became unbearable. Hannah sat beside him, her heart heavy with unspoken fears. She thought about the man she had married, the man who had once showered her with love and attention. Was that man still there? Or had he vanished completely? After hours of driving, they arrived at Ménétreux-le-Vignoble, a small village near the waterfalls. The place was quiet, surrounded by thick forests. Hannah stepped out of the car, inhaling the fresh air. It reminded her of the first time she and Adam had visited this place, back when their love had felt effortless. "Shall we take a walk?" Adam asked, his smile forced. Hannah nodded, wanting to believe that this weekend could bring them closer again. Together, they followed the trail leading to the waterfalls. The scenery was breathtaking, sunlight filtered through the trees, casting golden reflections on the water. But despite the beauty around her, Hannah couldn't shake off the uneasiness she felt. Something about Adam's demeanor had changed. He was too calm, too controlled. When they reached the edge of the waterfall, he turned to her, his face unreadable. "Hannah," he said in a voice she didn't recognize. "I've been thinking a lot lately." Her heart pounded. There was something final in his tone. Before she could respond, Adam continued, his voice cold. "This marriage isn't working. It's not what I want." Hannah's breath caught in her throat. "Adam, what are you saying? I thought we were here to fix things." He let out a chilling laugh. "Fix things? No, Hannah. I came here to end them." And then, before she could react, she felt his hands shove her forcefully. She screamed as she lost her footing, falling backward into the roaring waters below. The last thing she heard before the icy water swallowed her was Adam's voice, whispering, "Finally free." The shock of the cold water stole her breath. The current was relentless, tossing her like a rag doll. She fought to reach the surface, her lungs burning for air. Panic threatened to consume her, but then, through the chaos, a memory surfaced, her father teaching her how to float when she was a child. "Don't fight the water, Hannah," he had said. "Let it carry you." Summoning every ounce of strength, she calmed her breathing, allowing the current to guide her. Slowly, she moved toward the riverbank, her body battered and bruised. When she finally dragged herself onto solid ground, she collapsed, gasping for breath. The realization hit her like a blow: Adam had tried to kill her. This wasn't a mistake or a moment of madness. It was planned, deliberate. Tears mixed with the river water on her face, but along with the pain, something else ignited within her, a burning rage. Adam thought she was dead. He believed he had won. But he was wrong. She was alive, and she was going to make sure he paid for what he had done. Struggling to her feet, Hannah knew she couldn't stay there. Adam would eventually check to confirm her death. She had to disappear. Pushing through the pain, she walked along the riverbank, searching for a way out. Soon, she heard the sound of a car in the distance. Following the noise, she stumbled onto a small country road. Moments later, an old Peugeot appeared around a bend. She waved frantically, and to her relief, the car stopped. A middle-aged man stepped out. "Madam, are you all right?" he asked, concern in his eyes. I slipped near the waterfall," Hannah lied, her voice trembling. "I need help." The man, Jean-Pierre, didn't hesitate. He helped her into the car and drove to the nearest village, Morzine. During the ride, Hannah thought about her next move. She couldn't go to the police yet. Adam would spin the story in his favor. No, she needed to disappear, to plan her next steps carefully. Jean-Pierre offered to take her to a hospital, but she refused. Instead, he dropped her at a cafe, handing her some money. "Be safe, madam," he said before driving off. Alone, Hannah took a deep breath. She needed help, someone she could trust. There was only one person who came to mind. She borrowed a phone and called Clara, her best friend. "Clara," she whispered. "It's me. I need your help. Please, don't ask questions. Just come to Morzine. It's a matter of life and death." A pause. Then Clara's voice, filled with urgency. "I'm on my way." As she hung up, for the first time since the fall, Hannah felt a sliver of hope. Adam thought she was gone. But she was still here. And now, it was her turn to play. Hours later, Clara arrived. The moment she saw Hannah's battered state, her face paled. "Hannah, my God. What happened?" Hannah broke down, telling her everything, the cruelty, the betrayal, the attempt on her life. Clara's expression darkened. "We have to go to the police," she insisted. But Hannah shook her head. "Not yet. Adam thinks I'm dead. That's my advantage. I need proof before I make my move." Clara hesitated, then nodded. "All right. What do you need?" Hannah exhaled, grateful. "A place to stay. Somewhere Adam won't find me." Clara thought for a moment. "My aunt has a small house in Saint-Nazaire. No one will look for you there." It was perfect. Over the next few days, Clara discreetly retrieved Hannah's belongings, her laptop, important documents. Meanwhile, Hannah pieced together every piece of evidence she had against Adam, the bruises he had left, the messages, the moments of humiliation disguised as jokes. As days turned to weeks, she transformed her pain into a plan. She wasn't just going to survive. She was going to make Adam pay. One morning, she had an idea. What if she could get Adam to confess? She called her lawyer, Maître Dupont, and laid out her plan. "It's risky," he warned. "If he realizes you're alive too soon, it could ruin everything." But Hannah was firm. "We need undeniable proof." Together, they devised a strategy, spreading rumors that someone had seen her, forcing Adam into action. And it worked. Adam took the bait, trying to pay off a supposed witness. They recorded everything. That was the final piece Hannah needed. Months later, it was time. Adam was arrested, charged with attempted murder. The trial was grueling, but Hannah stood her ground, recounting every moment of her suffering. She refused to let Adam's lawyer twist the truth. And in the end, justice was served. The jury found Adam guilty. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. As they led him away, he looked at Hannah one last time. "I'm sorry," he murmured. But there was no remorse in his eyes. Only the anger of a man who had lost. That night, for the first time in years, Hannah felt truly free. But her story wasn't over. She used her experience to help others, creating an organization for victims of domestic abuse, New Beginning. Women from all over came forward, sharing their own stories, finding strength in hers. Hannah had once been a victim, but now, she was something else. A survivor. A fighter. And as long as there were women like her, she would continue to speak. Adam had tried to silence her, but he had failed. And now, her voice would never be silenced again.